The other day I did a review of this Vargo titanium hexagon wood stove. It was really more like an overview instead of a review. And to use whenever I cooked with it, or whenever I brought a pot of water to boil, I used a can of methanol gel. Some people call this stuff sterno. Well, one guy posted a comment about, he thought that an homemade alcohol stove would do better than the sterno. Okay, well, I can respect that. Another guy asked exactly how much water I'd put in the cup. We're going to address both of those questions, and what we're going to do is we're going to take 12 ounces of water. We're going to take one of these homemade alcohol stoves. We're going to put 1 ounce. A guy said that he can bring a bottle of water or a pot full of water to boil with like 1 ounce of alcohol. We have here 4 ounces of this heat gasoline antifreeze. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 ounce in here. We're going to light it. We're going to take that pot of water. We're going to set it on top of there and see how long it takes it to boil. Anybody that has ever used an alcohol stove out on a hiking or camping trip knows two things. One is that the wind will blow the flame out. It just happens. Good wind comes along, flame's blown out. So this also acts as a windshield. The second problem being is that the top of this is so narrow that pots, if you bump them or if they're sitting a little bit off, that they could fall off and spill your food. So having something like this hexagon wood stove solves two problems. One, it provides a windshield for your flame. Two, it provides a wider top for you to put your pot on top of. So what we're going to do is we're going to test that out right now and see how this works out. We have, this is that heat gasoline antifreeze. There's 4 ounces inside of the bottle right now. I'm going to put 1 liquid ounce inside of there. Okay, we're down to 3 ounces now. It's lit. Now we're going to give it from the time we lit it, and close that door so our flame doesn't get blown out. Now we started our methanol gel test right when we lit it, so we're going to do the same thing. It's about 2 minutes after, say 12:57. So we're going to go ahead and put our water on at the same time, just like with the methanol test. We're not going to make any exceptions for this stove to prime because we did not have to let methanol prime. One thing I'm noticing right off the bat is that the alcohol stove is putting out a much larger flame, and it's coming around the notches of the stove. You have to get this off the tripod and take a look. I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but the flame is coming through the notches of the hexagon wood stove. You see how it's starting to change colors. So I suspect that the alcohol stove is going to bring this up to boiling in no time. I suspect, but we'll see. We've come up on the 5-minute mark, and I think we just ran out of water. Ran out of fuel. We've got a steam, which is about like what the sterno was, maybe a little bit more. We may have, I notice, more accumulation of bubbles up on the side. But it's a little bit hot. I had to go in the house and get a rag. And yes, we are out of fuel. So 1 ounce of denatured alcohol, or that heat gasoline antifreeze, was just enough to bring it up to a nice little steam, but not to a rolling boil. So I'm going to let everything cool down. I'm going to put like 2 ounces of heat in it, and we're going to give it another try. First, I'm going to let everything cool down real nice so there's no danger of flash fire. what we have here is 2 fluid ounces of that heat antifreeze. We'll light it. We did not allow for any prime time with the methanol. So we're going to start out right now and put the 12 fluid ounces of water on top of there. And it is about 1 minute, well, about 11 minutes after 1. So we're going to come back in 5 minutes and check it out. I don't know if y'all can hear the wind blowing or not. The flame is being blown around the outside of the stove, and it's not, everything's going fine. It's not being blown out or anything. We are approaching the 5-minute mark. The flames are coming out from around the stove, very nice. And we have a rolling boil. Excellent, excellent. Now, between the first and the second test, then the water was swapped out. Everything was allowed to cool down to ambient air temperature. It only took about, since the metal is so thin, it only took a few minutes to cool down. I dumped the water out, the hot water out, replaced it with some cold water out of my water bottle that I'm using to measure everything with. So, golly, just holding my hand up there singed some of the hairs. But yeah, perfect test. 12 ounces of water boiling in 5 minutes using an alcohol stove with 2 ounces of water. We're now at about 8 minutes into the test, and the alcohol is starting to run out. This stove may run through it rather quickly because I got a bunch of holes drilled in it. This is just a generic, homemade alcohol stove being used for the test. We've got, I don't know how many minutes of boil time, probably 3 minutes or so. So I would probably have to use 2.5 ounces of alcohol in my stove to get it to cook all the way. But anyway, that should give you an idea.